To First Things First, Undisputed, coming up in about 11 minutes. Joy, good morning to you. What are you and the guys talking about today?
Good morning, Jenna. Good morning, guys. Coming up on Undisputed, the Patriots are coming off a huge win, but is there more tension between Brady and Belichick? And is Kevin Love really the problem in Cleveland? Plus, Reggie Bush is live in studio with us today. Undisputed is coming up next. Jenna, back to you guys.
All right, Joy, thanks. All right, we're talking to basketball. Cleveland gets ready for the Spurs tonight in San Antonio. We get ready to discuss yet more drama surrounding this Cavalier team. According to reports, the team held another meeting to air out their grievances. The airing of the grievances. It's like Festivus in Cleveland. Many of the issues were directed at that guy, Kevin Love, as players reportedly questioned his illness Saturday night, where he left the game early and then never showed up for practice the next day. So, Nick, what do we think about Kevin Love? Is trading him out of the question?
Absolutely not. It's not out of the question. Now, I don't think it's the likely outcome here, but I would have really liked to be in that meeting, find out who exactly was adamant, because it was multiple players were adamant that Kevin Love faked it. That Kevin Love, during a game, keep in mind, he played in that game, nationally televised on Saturday against the Thunder.
I think he played the first 3 minutes.
That game, he started the basketball game. The game went sideways for him early, and that they believe that he faked an illness to leave the stadium, then didn't show up for work the next day. Kevin Love, again, according to Adrian Wojnarowski, then vehemently defended himself. They thought they had come to some type of resolution afterwards. I'd love to know who was accusing him of it, how he defended himself, and who believes him. Because that is, Chris talks about your sports character. That is questioning a guy's sports character. That's bigger than field goal percentage or effort on the defensive end. That's a big indictment levied at Kevin Love. So the bigger question is almost if they can move past that and set that aside, how did the Cavs get better? Moving Kevin Love is not the number one way I would try to get better. The reason he's on the trade block seemingly every year is he's the best asset they've had. Like, Kyrie, I guess, was a better asset, yes. But Kyrie, it was inconceivable that they would trade him prior to this offseason. So Love was the tradable piece, the best asset, and the guy that never really fit against Golden State, which is their ultimate goal. So, yeah, it's conceivable, but I don't think it's likely.
But also you have to realize who Golden State is. When they signed Kevin Love, they were not Golden State that we see today. Like, they were a different team. So how you were trying to put together a team in the early years, in the first year 1 and 2 in Cleveland, was totally different than what they're trying to do now. Cleveland, was Kevin Love sick? I know too much about sports, and I respect Kevin Love and what he tries to go about doing. So to try to put that type of indictment on a player, you know, I believe that to be false. He looked sick. When he came out of the game, he had a kind of starry-eyed look on his face. He said that he was dizzy. He wanted to sit down for a little bit to kind of get himself together. He didn't feel any better, so which in turn he didn't return to the game. I can't verify if he was sick, but let me tell you what I am. I'm sick of the Cavs. I'm sick of them not playing no defense. I'm sick of them making excuses. So Kevin Love might have been sick or might not have been sick. But as a longtime fan of LeBron James and the Cavs, I'm sick of watching them. I'm sick of hearing excuses. I'm sick of them not playing any defense. So that's what I'm really sick of. Like, my stomach right now, I'm sick of the Cavs. And they have to do something because they can't get out of their own way. When you don't play defense, like the Cavs have decided collectively they're not going to play defense, I told you a while ago, they got a hard time getting out of the East. Forget about Golden State or LeBron getting to his 8th straight final. Right now, they are a team in disarray, and I believe something will happen before the trade deadline.
Nick, play general manager for a beat. What would you do to fix this team?
All right, so that's interesting. First thing I would do is I would call up the Los Angeles Clippers and see if they want the cap space, if they would trade me Lou Williams for Channing Frye and my 2018 first-round pick. That's the first thing I would do. Did people talk about DeAndre Jordan there? That's not the move I would make. And so I would then insert Lou Williams into my starting lineup as the 2 guard. I then would find out if anyone would like to take J.R. Smith and or Jay Crowder and or Tristan Thompson, 2 of those 3 off my hands for one athletic defensive wing or a big man facsimile. The reality is, I think the best version of the Cavs, the best chance they have, is with Kevin Love at center. So that means you need another wing defender, what you thought Jay Crowder was going to be. Jay Crowder's been awful. Like, the underrated part of this Cavs season, while we focus on Kevin Love, while we focus on LeBron, is the other three starting lineup spots. Point guard has been in disarray because it was Derrick Rose, then he got hurt, then Calderon, then IT came back. JR's been bad all year. Jay Crowder's been awful all year. The only consistent piece
JR's been awful, too.
I said JR.
I said he was bad.
Okay, so
I want awful.
Okay, sure.
He's been awful.
However you want to do it, those three, those spots, they've got no production from. Right. None whatsoever. Below replacement level production. Now, the problem is, so the reason Kevin Love's name comes up in these trade rumors, or Isaiah Thomas's name could come up in these trade rumors, is they're better assets. These other teams see how Jay Crowder, J.R. Smith, Tristan Thompson have been playing. Why do they want to take on those long-term contracts, except for Crowder's? They're all bad contracts for players that aren't playing well. Like, that's the position the Cavs are in right now.
Also the position they're in, that the last trade that they made was not a good one for them. Now, we don't know where the Brooklyn pick is going to end up, but I'm just going to go on record as saying on this day, January the 23rd, the Kyrie Irving deal will come back to haunt the Cleveland Cavaliers, and it will also lead to LeBron James leaving Cleveland. All right? That's what you get when you start arguing about a guy. Yeah, you got a stomach ache. Yeah, you're going to take the day off. Man, I can get me a day off. That's the kind of stuff that starts to happen. You start making excuses for your poor play. And it's easier to blame someone else compared to looking at yourself.
Let him just rip off another 19-2 run.
That's
sweep
not gonna
all the
happen.
problems under the rug.
That's not going to happen.
Well, I wouldn't be sure about that after the trade deadline. I wouldn't be sure if they can't rip off another 17 out of 18.
Okay, no
like
problem. But you want to, what do you call it, Venmo? You want to Venmo me some money? You want to put some bet on that?
You want to put some money in escrow about whether or not, how about this? I will bet this. I will bet the day the Eastern Conference playoffs begin, you pick the Cavs to come out of the East. I will bet that.
Let's bet this. I'm picking the Warriors.
Okay, but
to win the conference.
Right, okay, well,
I'm to win it all.
All right, but that's a separate discussion.
Getting to the finals, all right, and LeBron being, what would he be in the finals now if he gets there and loses again?
Okay, but
what would that record be? No, you tell me that first.
It'd be 3-6. But 90 seconds ago, you said the Cavs right now are going to have trouble coming out of the East. And so I'm telling you right now, while everyone is
they just gave up 148 points to OKC.
Right.
Is my TV broke?
No, your TV's not broke.
Oh, okay.
But I noticed that when I said that, you didn't disagree with me. That by the end of the year, the conventional wisdom's going to be the Cavs are at the very least going to the finals.
Which is interesting. This conversation gave me a little stomach ache. So now I like Kevin Love. I'm sick, but I will show up tomorrow, and I'm not going to leave before the show's over. So in many ways, Kevin Love and I are different.
You got that guaranteed money, too, so you can take a day off.
But it's not going to happen here every day. Back to the NFL and some drama in Dallas surrounding Dez Bryant. Cowboys executive VP Stephen Jones says, quote, Dez is certainly a fiery guy who plays with a lot of emotion, both on and off the field, and sometimes that can be a distraction. So, Cece, let's talk about Dez Bryant. You think he could benefit from a change in scenery?
No, I don't believe so. But the other thing is Stephen Jones, if you know the Dallas Cowboys, Stephen Jones has a lot of pull as far as personnel decisions, and a lot of the big decisions that they have made or haven't made the last several years, Stephen Jones has been a part of that, either talking Jerry out of or telling Jerry that we should go after this player. Johnny Manziel, Jerry was in love with. Stephen Jones talked him out of that. Some other players at the end of their careers, do we keep these guys or do we sign them for more money? Jerry, like, boy, we can get some more work out that boy right there. He's actually got one more good season in him. Stephen said, Dad, slow that thing down. I think we need to cut ties with him right now. So his relationship, it's very intricate as far as them making this decision. What Dez needs, he needs a new receiver coach, which they have one, to introduce him to the middle of the football field, to move him in the slot. Also, Dallas needs to go to what Nick Foles and some other RPOs, play action fake with Ezekiel Elliott, getting those linebackers moving and throwing him the ball and getting him the ball on the run. Also, you got to throw him the ball outside. That's the part that makes him special. The 50-50 balls, you got to give him an opportunity. I'd introduce him to the slot. I'd give him 5 routes in the slot. I would change his whole career. But I'm not the receiver coach for Dallas. But that's what I would do for him because I believe even He turns 30 in November. He's got plenty of football left in him.
So if those things, if that's even on the board, that Dez could evolve, that if the right receivers coach, he could evolve, with the right infrastructure where they challenge him, where they stop letting him only know what the X position, is that what you've talked about? He only knows one position on the field.
Yes.
Stop letting him, for lack of a better term, get away with what a lot of players in this league can't get away with, which is we're going to have special terminology to tell you because you don't understand things these other players do.
There's more players in that situation than we realize.
Okay, I'm not saying he's the only one, but it's certainly not the norm.
Yeah, as a good coach, you also know what your guys can't do, so you want to be able to avoid that.
I just wonder, if a shock to the system where it's like, oh my God, like what I've been doing, I know people have questioned, is it working, is it not working? Well, the Dallas Cowboys, when the owner loves me, when they gave me this contract, they're moving on from me. I just wonder if that wouldn't be good for him because there's nothing I saw this year that made it seem to me like Dez is interested in taking his game to the next level, whether it's mentally or whether it's positionally. I didn't see that type of evolution from him on the field this season.
Guys, let's go get breakfast. We're done. All right?
Go get breakfast. I can't get breakfast. I'll fall asleep after. I'll go with you, though.
Yeah, I'm going to get me a workout.
Oh.
Hey, that's it for us. We're back here tomorrow morning at 6:30
Very
Eastern.
spooky.
Stay right here. Undisputed starts right now.